The day she walked past him without even a flicker of recognition, something inside him broke so quietly that no one noticed. Not the rush of people on the sidewalk, not the noise of the city, not even him at first. He stood there holding a coffee that had already gone cold, watching the woman he once loved more than his own certainty disappear into a crowd, and in that moment he realized that forgetting someone could hurt more than being hated by them. Because hate at least meant you were remembered. Before this story goes any further, if you believe in kindness, in second chances, and in the quiet power of love that doesn't give up, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel. Your support keeps stories like this alive. Ethan Carter had never been the kind of man who took up much space in a room. He was the quiet presence, the reliable friend, the one who noticed details others missed. Years ago, he had noticed her first, Lena Whitmore, on a rainy afternoon at a small coastal town library in Oregon back when both of them were still trying to figure out who they were supposed to be. She had been sitting by the window, shoes off, feet tucked under her chair, completely absorbed in a book she held like it was a lifeline. Ethan hadn't spoken to her that day, but something in the way she existed so fully in her own world had stayed with him. Over time, their lives overlapped naturally. Same volunteer shifts, same coffee shop, same long walks along the beach after storms. They never rushed anything. Their connection grew in small, honest moments, shared silences, laughter that surprised them both, and a sense of safety that felt rare and precious. Ethan never confessed his feelings outright, not because he didn't feel deeply, but because he feared that naming it might shatter the fragile perfection of what they had. He loved her quietly, faithfully, believing that time would eventually open the right door. Then came the accident. It was late autumn when Lena's car skidded on a wet highway during a business trip to Northern California. The crash didn't take her life, but it took something else, pieces of her memory scattered and unreachable. When Ethan heard the news, he drove through the night, his hands shaking on the steering wheel, his heart pounding with a terror he had never known. He stayed in the hospital hallway for hours, waiting, praying, bargaining with a universe that suddenly felt cruel and indifferent. Lena survived. But when she woke up, the world she remembered ended years before Ethan had truly become part of her life. The doctors called it retrograde amnesia. They spoke gently, clinically, explaining that some memories might return while others might never come back. Friends and family would feel like strangers. Familiar places might seem unfamiliar. Emotional responses could be unpredictable. Ethan listened, nodded, absorbed every word, even as his chest felt like it was being crushed. When Lena finally saw him standing beside her hospital bed, her eyes held politeness, confusion, and distance. She thanked him for being there, assuming he was another concerned acquaintance. Ethan smiled and introduced himself simply, not trusting his voice to carry the truth. In that moment, he made a decision that would define everything that followed. He would not force himself into her life as a memory she could not access. He would let her lead, even if it meant losing her all over again. Months passed. Lena moved back to Oregon to recover, staying close to family. Ethan stayed nearby, quietly present, offering help when asked, stepping back when not. He became a familiar face again, but not a remembered one. To her, he was kind, dependable, easy to be around. To him, every interaction was a careful balancing act between hope and heartbreak. What surprised him most was how her heart responded even when her mind did not. Lena gravitated toward him without understanding why. She felt calm around him. She trusted him instinctively. Sometimes she laughed with him in a way that felt too natural to be new. Other times she felt an unexplainable sadness when he wasn't around, a hollow feeling she couldn't name. She told her therapist that there was someone who felt important, even though she couldn't explain his importance. Ethan watched this unfold with a quiet ache. There were moments when he almost told her everything, about the late-night talks, the shared dreams, the love he never confessed but always carried. But fear held him back. What if the truth overwhelmed her? What if she felt pressured to feel something she no longer remembered? What if knowing hurt her more than forgetting? Life tested his resolve when someone new entered Lena's life. A coworker, kind and attentive, began spending time with her. Ethan saw the signs immediately, the casual dinners, the smiles, the growing comfort. He told himself that this was fair, that Lena deserved happiness even if it wasn't with him. Still, the pain of watching her build something new on a foundation that once belonged to them felt unbearable. There were nights when Ethan sat alone in his apartment, surrounded by memories she no longer carried, questioning whether love that isn't remembered still counts. He considered leaving town, starting fresh somewhere else, freeing himself from the constant reminder of what he'd lost. But every time he imagined walking away completely, something stopped him. It wasn't hope. It was something quieter, deeper, the belief that love didn't require recognition to be real. The turning point came unexpectedly, on a stormy evening that mirrored the one when they had first truly connected years ago. Lena had been caught in heavy rain after her car broke down near the coast. Ethan arrived to help without hesitation. As they stood together watching the waves crash violently against the rocks, something shifted. Lena felt overwhelmed by a rush of emotion she couldn't explain. The sound of the ocean, the smell of rain, and Ethan's steady presence stirred something buried deep within her. That night, memories didn't return like a flood. Instead, feelings surfaced. Familiarity, comfort, longing. Lena began asking questions, not directly about the past, but about why she felt so strongly connected to someone she barely remembered knowing. Ethan answered carefully, truthfully, without revealing everything. He spoke about shared values, about trust built over time, about how some connections don't need explanations. Slowly, Lena started piecing things together. She requested old photos from friends. She visited places that felt oddly significant. She noticed how often Ethan appeared in the background of her life before the accident. Her therapist explained that while memories can be lost, emotional memory often remains. The heart remembers what the mind forgets. One afternoon, Lena finally asked Ethan to tell her the truth, not because she remembered, but because she felt it. Ethan didn't dramatize it. He didn't beg or demand. He simply shared their story as it was, imperfect and unfinished. He told her about the love he never voiced, the respect he held for her healing, and the choice he made to stay even when it hurt. Lena didn't suddenly remember everything, but she cried, not out of guilt, but recognition. Something inside her clicked into place. She realized that the pull she felt toward Ethan wasn't new, it was returning. Their relationship didn't restart like a movie scene, it rebuilt slowly, intentionally. They learned each other again, this time with honesty and courage. Ethan learned to speak his feelings instead of hiding them. Lena learned to trust not just her memories, but her instincts. Together, they discovered that love could survive even when time, trauma, and fear tried to erase it. Near the end of this story, if this journey has touched your heart even a little, please like the video, share it with someone who believes in love beyond logic, and subscribe for more stories that remind us what truly matters. As they walked along the same beach years later, hands brushing, hearts steady, Ethan realized that love wasn't about being remembered perfectly. It was about choosing someone again and again, even when circumstances tried to pull you apart. Lena might not remember every moment they shared before, but her heart had never let him go. Before this story ends, please leave a comment sharing whether you believe love can exist beyond memory. Because sometimes the most powerful connections aren't held in the mind, but in the quiet, unshakable knowing of the heart.